Same shit that everybody else been saying since I moved to 147. I ain't fought nobody. Every last one of them stump a mud hole in their ass and he gonna be next. Watch. So when I beat you, is you gonna be a nobody? When I stump a mud hole in your ass, is you gonna be a nobody? You gonna be just like everybody else. Watch. Watch.
As the upcoming Canelo versus Crawford fight gets closer, the tension continues to grow. Just like the previous media event, Canelo and Crawford were heard making offensive racial remarks. The situation began after Canelo was questioned about their earlier encounter during the last press event meeting before now.
I didn't. He did before. He tried to welcome me back, and it just was my reaction. That's it. I think he don't did them because he really wanted to do. I think Turki Al-Ashi told him, you need to do something. And he did. He did. And now...
Following the press conference, Crawford repeated that he was amused by Canelo's strange actions and said he enjoys all the attention and chaos surrounding the situation.
Laughed at it, as you can see. You know, I love things like that. You know, it excites me. I'm more motivated than ever now.
At the previous news conference, Terence Crawford explained that Canelo Alvarez pushed him during their moment together. He added that the shove did not frighten him at all and said it had no impact on his mindset or the strategy he planned to use for the fight.
Nothing. You know what I mean? Like, that little push didn't do nothing, as you can see. But come fight time, we're not going to be pushing, we're going to be punching. So it doesn't even matter.
Along with the previous news conference, this event also included a tense face-off on the death stairs. The moment became so intense that new boxing promoter Dana White, who is officially tied to the UFC, had to step in to separate them and calm the situation before it went further. This is more than just another fight. Two fighters will step into the same ring for a rare once-in-a-lifetime showdown. They have defeated rivals across many weight divisions, collected multiple championship belts, and silenced doubters everywhere. While reflecting on his match against Billy Joe Saunders, Canelo Alvarez explained how that moment fueled his drive. He recalled how Saunders' actions before the fight angered him deeply and pushed him to fight with more force and emotion. By sharing this, he suggested that the same kind of intensity could appear again when he faces Crawford.
For Bud Crawford, you know, a lot of MMA fans, UFC fans, may not have ever seen you fight before, and they might tune in because Dana and the UFC are involved. So what has it been like maybe introducing yourself to a lot of MMA fans?
Crawford made that Canelo Alvarez did not appreciate, especially when Crawford said he did not feel the need to meet anyone else's expectations. Canelo responded by saying that Crawford appeared to be trying to prove something or send a message to someone during the press conference discussion.
A little bit more personal because, you know, I did respect him. I don't respect him anymore because he say, I'm not gonna do what they want me to do and this and that. And then he tried to, maybe Turki Al-Ashi told him, hey, you need to do something because you seem so nervous in Riyadh. So, and he tried to, like, he welcomed me back, and that's why I pushed him. And, you know, like I say, don't fuck with me.
Does it bring a different Canelo then?
Yeah, it's different.
Press conference, Canelo made another strong statement. He told reporters and boxing officials that the nose injury from the last fight might have happened because Turki instructed Crawford to pressure him more. He also warned Crawford directly by saying that if he challenged or disrespected him, it would bring an end to his career.
Before, I respect his word because he say, oh, I'm not gonna let somebody to tell me what I need to do, and he did. So, but you know me. Just I respect everybody, but if you f me, so it's gonna be different. You know.
Listen.
Hey, we know, buddy. We know.
First and foremost.
We know.
Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford were involved in a heated exchange during the confrontation. Crawford said he had heard stories coming from the Canelo camp that made people think he was afraid. He explained that he showed up face to face with Canelo to prove he was not scared and to hint that he was already preparing his plan for the fight. Canelo later denied ever doing anything like that and said he was only repeating what Crawford's uncle had claimed.
Somebody was in the room saying that I was scared of them. So I stepped to him and showed him who was the boss of this fight. I ain't scared of shit.
Hey, I never say that. Your uncle say that, not me.
Despite repeating it many times, Crawford insists that he fears no one. At the most recent news conference, he made it clear that he was not scared to stand in front of Canelo, who is naturally the bigger fighter. He added that Canelo will truly understand this once they finally meet inside the ring.
Scared of shit. And you're going to find that out. As you've seen, the last press conference,
We'll see.
when I walked you down, when you supposed to be the bigger man.
Yeah, hey, you say that because you fighting with nobody, and you obviously look like you're a great fighter. But you find out September 13th, this is gonna be different for you.
And it's going to be different from you as well.
On one side is Canelo Alvarez, a Mexican star and the current undisputed super middleweight champion with 63 wins, 2 losses, and 39 knockouts. He has faced some of the toughest fighters, including Gennady Golovkin, Caleb Plant, Sergey Kovalev, Miguel Cotto, and others. While both the fighters and fans talked about how huge the match was, he skillfully stayed focused and controlled the hype. He felt a bit nervous at first, but now he understands that today is a major moment for Canelo.
See the presser yesterday, and I thought Canelo looked really well. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, he's a big lump, so I was always Canelo. Then I sort of leant towards Spud, but now I'm back with Canelo. So we'll see.
Canelo's an all-time great. He's an incredible fighter, and look, I actually think this is a bad fight for him because
Says he favors Canelo slightly, but also created a scenario where neither fighter would have an easy fight. He explained that Crawford's unusual style, combined with his fast reflexes, smooth movement, and constant adjustments, could make the ring unpredictable and force Canelo to keep up every step of the way.
he'll engage a lot more than Skull, but he will be looking to do all the things where people have had success, which is use movement. Look at what Bivol did. Bivol had the perfect game plan. He boxed off the back foot, then he attacked, then he moved, then he, all that kind of stuff. And I think Crawford will be looking to do exactly the same.
Hearn also mentioned that Crawford views this fight as more than just earning money or winning another title. That is not his main focus. Instead, Crawford sees it as his opportunity to prove himself beyond being a technical expert and to achieve greatness that will be remembered in boxing history. According to Hearn, Crawford is not chasing power. His aim is to leave a lasting legacy.
It's a fight that's probably quite personal to him to prove himself as a great. And there is no doubt that if he wins this fight, he's a great. I mean, he's a pound for pound tremendous fighter, but
the obvious size difference was impossible to ignore. Crawford at 147 pounds was a welterweight facing Canelo, the 168-pound champion. Watching the weight gap was clear, but Crawford kept calling out Canelo's name. It was notable that Canelo didn't shut him down completely. Instead, he left the door open, signaling that he would take things seriously if the fight actually happened.
47, obviously 154 now, but the money's the money, and he was never going to turn it down.
Over his career, Canelo has grown from a young prospect into one of the biggest sports and pay-per-view stars today. He has fought and defeated champions in 4 different weight classes and built his own kingdom inside and outside the ring. Canelo is known for his strong chin, punishing body shots, and precise heavy counterpunches. At the news conference, he appeared calmer and more comfortable than before. He spoke about working with Dana White and the event organizers to prepare for the big fight. Canelo saw that White and UFC fighters collaborate and didn't view the UFC as a competitor. He said he respects Dana White and every UFC fighter and believes that working together can create something great. He expressed excitement about teaming up with White and everyone involved, including Netflix. He made it clear he has always admired White, but emphasized that this fight with Crawford is different for Inside Antonio. Tarver noted that Terence Crawford has a fearless, commanding presence like the great boxers of the past.
I've been telling y'all for the longest. That boy got that energy. And you know what energy I'm talking about. What is that? Tarver energy.
Yes, sir.
Tarver. He got that.
Yes,
so
sir.
you know, when you get that, we don't see nobody, bro.
Antonio Tarver also shared a sharper view on Canelo Alvarez. He acknowledged that Canelo is tough, but said the Mexican star hasn't faced a real challenge in a while, and that his movement in the ring hasn't been as sharp lately. Tarver warned that being too comfortable can hurt even the best defenders. He noted that Canelo's footwork has slipped, and he hasn't posed a serious threat for some time. Tarver stressed that to face Crawford, Canelo will need to dig deep and push himself. Crawford is widely recognized as a skilled boxer with a perfect record of 41 wins, no losses, and 30 knockouts. His switch hitting style is tricky, and no opponent has figured out. He hasn't faced anyone since moving up to 140 pounds, but dominated the 147-pound division by beating Errol Spence Jr. and recently won a world title at 150 pounds, now moving up again to face a dangerous 168-pound fighter. Shows rare ambition. Few fighters can pull off such a bold move. Analyst Frank Martin compared how William Skull's approach differed from what he expects from Crawford against Canelo. Skull became overly defensive after Canelo's last fight, but Martin believes Crawford won't run from him. Instead, Crawford will mix boxing with taking shots and fight in bursts. Martin noted that while Crawford may not match Canelo in size, his speed and technique give him strong advantages. Martin concluded that Crawford's speed and smaller frame make it very possible that he could defeat Canelo
quicker than him and
fast. Sometimes, man, like, just because a guy bigger, it don't always mean, like, you know, he can crack, but, you know, it's like Terence he gonna be the faster, you know, he gonna be the quicker fighter, the more explosive fighter, too. I feel like,
talked about the challenges smaller fighters face when going up against bigger opponents, and explained clearly how being faster can give a smaller boxer an edge over a taller, heavier one. His reasoning made sense, showing why speed matters. Whether the fighters are evenly matched or highly competitive, bigger men don't always have the advantage since they tend to be slower in a fight. A smaller puncher has to avoid getting hit, but often gains an edge with quickness. In Crawford's case, this fight could redefine greatness if he beats Canelo, who is bigger and has proven he can adapt to any style. Crawford would become the first boxer in the four-belt era to hold undisputed titles in 3 different weight classes, a feat never achieved before. Not Mayweather, not Pacquiao, not Roy Jones Jr. This would be history, and bold. Some of Canelo Alvarez's past opponents are still remembered today. Floyd Mayweather Jr. remains a prominent figure and was the boxer who handed Canelo one of his toughest defeats in 2013. When Canelo was younger, Mayweather didn't just win, he dominated him in an impressive display.
You could take a guy like Canelo, this guy could do, he can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm going to tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Easy, man. Easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude. This dude was nothing. I was almost 40 years old when I cooked this dude. Easy. Y'all always disrespecting our fighters.
Even with the weight difference, neither side holds a clear physical advantage, which is why both fighters are so confident. Brian McIntyre, Crawford's trainer, matched that energy not with intensity, but with calm assurance, showing he already trusted the plan, even if the details remained secret. He wasn't focused on putting on a show for cameras or hype. Instead, he concentrated on the behind-the-scenes work, the discipline, the trust built over years, and the strategy he believes will lead to victory. "We're just going to go out there and win," he said, emphasizing doing everything needed to secure the win while keeping the game plan private. Crawford also has a higher knockout rate at 73% compared to Canelo's 63.9%. Impressive given that Crawford spent most of his career in lighter divisions. Meanwhile, Oscar de la Hoya criticized the fight, the promoters, and even the dinner Canelo, Crawford, and Team Turkey attended. He expressed frustration at how friendly the fighters appeared, saying it has taken some of the edge out of boxing. According to de la Hoya, fans don't tune in to see mutual respect. They watch for the fire, tension, and raw energy that makes a fight feel like war. He compared the pre-fight atmosphere to legendary clashes, saying matchups as intense as Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier or Mike Tyson versus Mitch Green wouldn't have had the same impact if those fighters had been seen meeting peacefully before their bouts.
Can you imagine Muhammad Ali or like Joe Frazier having dinner together? What? Can you imagine Mike Tyson and Mitch Green before a brawl?
Hey,
what the No boxing fan wants to see two fighters having dinner together.
We could have a dinner on Wednesday night.
Then he emphasized it again, saying the real excitement in boxing comes from the build-up. The pressure and mental stakes make every round feel like life or death. When the promotion feels too polished or forced, it loses its spark. Fans want real fights, genuine tension, the feeling that a true war is about to start, not champagne and caviar posing for a trilogy. Oscar de la Hoya also spoke personally, reminding Bud to bring up the story of Canelo failing a drug test due to tainted supplements, a scandal that has haunted Canelo for years. Mentioning it can seriously anger him, showing how much truth can cut when it hits his reputation. But this fight isn't just about facts or numbers, it's about legacy. Crawford enters as a two-time undisputed champion, still seeking the challenge that comes from striving to reach the top. While Canelo has held power for so long that to stay on top, he must defeat anyone threatening his reign. British boxing reporter Gareth A. Davies added his voice, giving Crawford a sharp warning about what's ahead. He didn't hold back in showing how intense and dangerous this fight could become.
Fight for both men. Canelo always looks for the knockout, as he says. He will be planting his feet. And as I said to Terence, are you prepared to be hit harder than you've ever been hit before? Obviously, he doesn't want to be hit, but Canelo will hit him harder than anyone he's probably been in against. So Spence hits hard, but it wasn't the same Errol Spence that he fought. And he's up against one of the all-time greats of Mexican boxing on September the 13th at the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. It's a really big fight for him. It's a legacy fight because his resume isn't anything like Saul Canelo Alvarez's legacy.
No, Canelo isn't going to box carefully. He's going to hit hard. He starts the fight measured, plants his feet, and goes for the knockout like it's his mission. Crawford has never faced shots like the ones Canelo is bringing. This fight isn't just about skill. It's a test of toughness, heart, and sheer will. Every clean hit could change everything. Davies raises a scary question. Is Crawford really ready for that level of fire? He fought Errol Spence Jr., who hits hard, but now he faces one of the best Mexican boxers ever on September 13th at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. The challenge is enormous, and Crawford's record doesn't compare to Canelo's. This is a legacy fight. Even before the first punch, it's clear this won't be a normal match. It's about history, pride, and intense emotion. The tension grows with every press conference, quote, and stare down. One thing is certain, the stakes are huge. Whether it's calm strategy or full-on intensity, all eyes will be on Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. History will be decided on one side or the other. If this got you fired up, click like, subscribe for more fight talk, and share your prediction in the comments. Will Crawford shake Canelo, or will the Mexican star silence all doubts? The fight is only getting bigger.